From the shining domicile that is Pittsburgh Comics, my old mannered comic shop owner, Colin McMahon, transforms into the world's greatest comic book talking TV host. Join us true believers for Comics Now!
Hey everybody, welcome to Comics Now for June 2024. Summer is here, and hopefully life is slowing down a little bit for you and giving you a little bit more free time to take advantage. Maybe get some reading done on the front porch or something like that. We have tons of good books here to help you take advantage of that. That's what I know I'm going to spend my summer doing. One quick note I wanted to point out, a little schedule change, is we're going to be closed on Mondays for the foreseeable future. I'm trying to get that out every way I can so that people know not to come on Mondays. So just for the foreseeable future, we're going to be closed. So for book club this month, we're doing one that I only read the first couple issues of, and I really wanted to read the whole thing. It's James Tynion and Martin Simmons, who just did that fantastic Universal Monsters Dracula book. They've been doing a book for several years now called Department of Truth. And it's a big conspiracy type book, lots of interesting stuff. The art is fantastic. And I said, you know what? I finally want to do this one. So we're going to be doing Department of Truth, and that is going to be on the last Friday in June. I want to say it's the 26th, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's 7 o'clock. We have pizza. It's just a lot of good talk. It's a lot of fun to be around some people and talk all sorts of stuff. And then we're focusing this month on Westerns. I decided, what the heck, let's do a change. We've had a lot of good Westerns come out. We had Blood Brothers Mother is coming out from Distillery right now, and we just had the Enfield Gang Massacre come out from Image. So I said, hey, let's focus on Westerns. Maybe something different, something you might not have tried, and we'll get you some good books into your hands. As summer kicks off, a lot of the companies are starting their big summer events. Marvel's hard into the vampire world, and DC is leaning towards absolute power. So lots of stuff is going on. So we're going to talk about lots of neat stuff. One last thing, I was just talking about this, is we got a real big collection in recently that we're working on processing. Lots of neat books, all sorts of stuff. Archie's, Dell's, Gold Keys, Marvel, DC, you name it. So much stuff is in here, and we are working hard on getting it all ready to go out for sale. So keep an eye on the social medias and the website. We'll announce when that's all going out. We're going to make a big spectacle of it, so keep your eyes open. But now let's talk about what's coming out in June, and we're going to start with Marvel Comics. It is the summer of vampires in the Marvel Universe, and everything in the world is going crazy and wrong, and you got to come along for the ride. So we already have the first 2 issues out of Blood Hunt and a bunch of tie-ins, but there's a bunch more coming. We have Blood Hunt 3 and 4 coming out in June. As the heroes rally at the Sanctum Sanctorum, they must first deal with a threat close to their hearts. And while they raise the torch of defiance, the new Lord of Vampires enacts his dreaded scheme. And then Doctor Strange and Clea court a dread ally. But at what cost comes this aid? Hunters Mood and Tigra do the same, but can this shadowy figure be trusted? And meanwhile, the Avengers are given the battle they sorely crave in order to avenge their fallen friends. But in the darkness, a light? And then Blood Hunt tie-ins, we have Dracula 2, Midnight Suns 2, Black Panther 2, Strange Academy 2, and Union Jack the Ripper 2. We also have Blood Hunters 2. And then some new books coming. We have Wolverine Blood Hunt 1 and 2. Logan fights back to the darkness. Wolverine's the best there is at what he does, and today fighting vampires is going to have to top that list. As the sky darkens across the globe and vampires reign, what hidden plot puts Logan directly in their crosshairs? Hint, it's like nothing you've seen in Blood Hunt yet. Be sure to be here as the plot and blood thickens when a secret vampire sect enacts a startling strategy that'll take Logan and the world to the brink. We also have X-Men Blood Hunt Jubilee. Running from the past is one race you'll never win. And as darkness suffuses the world, Jubilee's past as a vampire is back to take a big bite out of her. It's going to take more than a couple of plasma bursts to get out of this one, Jubilation. We also have X-Men Blood Hunt Magic. After the fall of the House of X, Ilyana Rasputina has returned to her homeland to search for her soul and steal it for what comes next. But how will she protect her first home when a vampire army descends on Russia, seeking to turn it into a living hell? She may have been forged in the fires of limbo, but has it prepared her for the blood hunt? And Blood Hunt's also crossing over with these regular. We have Amazing Spider-Man Blood Hunt 2. We have Venom 34, Miles Morales 21, Avengers 15, Fantastic Four 21, Doctor Strange 16, and Vengeance of the Moon Knight 6. And now for some non-vampire stuff. Facsimile editions this month are Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, because he's got a movie coming or something. Amazing Spider-Man 257, continuing the black costume reprints. Secret Wars 6, and Godzilla #1. This is the one from the 70s. X-Men 35 is also X-Men 700. It's also the end of an era. All good things must come to an end, and as good of a thing as the Krakoan era has been for mutant kind, its time has come at last. The tragedy and triumph of the fall of the House of X, the madness and mystery of rise of the powers of X, they have all come to their end and led to this moment that will change the future of mutant kind for years to come. We also have Scarlet Witch #1. The Scarlet Witch has carved out a haven for herself in upstate New York, but it's all about to go up in flames. Wanda's newfound peace has drawn the wrath of a primal force unlike anything she's ever faced before, and it won't stop until it razes Wanda's world to the ground. It's a clash of titans as Wanda and her allies fight for all she holds dear. Also, this is a very interesting one. Jason Aaron apparently loves Uncle Scrooge. So he approached Marvel about writing an Uncle Scrooge book, and they said yes. So it's Uncle Scrooge and the Infinity Dime, written by Jason Aaron, drawn by some Italian creators who have been doing all of Disney stuff for years. When Uncle Scrooge's fabled money bin gets stolen by a shocking culprit, the world's toughest duck must undertake a quest unlike any other, alongside a surprising array of allies, other versions of himself. We also have new Ultimates. Ultimates #1. 6 months ago, Tony Stark sent Peter Parker a radioactive spider to set him back on the course to become Spider-Man. Since then, Iron Lad, Stark, Captain America, Doom, Thor, and Sif have begun to do the same for other lost heroes, building a network of superpowered heroes hungry for change. Now they must band together and destroy the Maker's Council and restore freedom and free will to a world ruled from the shadows. We also have Thor Annual #1, and this is going to kick off a new Infinity Watch series going through a whole bunch of different annuals. The annual event in 2024 starts here as Thanos, after the events of his series, goes off to find the Infinity Stones. He's in for a shock when he discovers that the Infinity Stones have been incorporated into actual people, like Star, Quantum, Overtime, Prince of Power, and Multitude. But wait, there are 6 Infinity Stones, but only 5 people listed. We also have the return of Venomverse. Venomverse Return #1. The Darkest Web is respun. Dive back into the darkness as the Venomverse is reborn with stories of symbiotes from all across the multiverse. We also have X-Men Heir of Apocalypse. For centuries, Apocalypse tested the mutants of Earth to guarantee that only the strong would survive. Now, as he takes his throne on Arakko, another must rise in his place and ensure the mutants of Earth do not grow weak in his absence. 12 mutants chosen from the X-Men's greatest heroes and villains will compete for the honor, but only one will become the heir of Apocalypse. Amazing Spider-Man 51. The Sinister Six is back. As if the Green Goblin weren't enough, the Sinister Six has returned too. When it rains, it pours, and this pain is going to put Spider-Man in a world of hurt. And then number 52 has a hidden cover that we didn't see yet, and the only description is, "Nothing is okay." So we'll see what's going on there. We also have Giant-Sized Daredevil, continuing their 50th anniversary of the Giant Sizes. He's on the hunt, one of Daredevil's deadliest and most dangerous foes, empowered by forces unknown even to himself, prepares for the kill. And then lastly, we have a new Star Wars book, Ahsoka. After the fall of the Empire, Ahsoka Tano stalks the galaxy for Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now on to what's coming out from DC. Okay, DC is bringing back something that I truly loved when it was first coming out. They're bringing back the Elseworlds line, which a lot of these are just what if history or an event had turned a different way, kind of like Marvel's What Ifs. So they're bringing these back. There's 6 of them on the slate, and it looks like it's, I think, going to be one a month. So the first one they're bringing back, Batman Gotham by Gaslight, The Kryptonian Age. The new era of Elseworlds kicks off with a return of its crown jewel, the mysterious and gothic world of Gotham by Gaslight. When a mysterious meteor falls in the wide-open plains of the Midwest, it will unleash a chain of events that find Gotham's bizarre Batman contending with not just the twin threats of the Catwoman and a mysterious international assassin, but also the emergence of superhuman beings beyond all comprehension. DC's also getting into the Pride Month celebration with DC Pride 2024 and DC Pride, a celebration of Rachel Pollack, who did Doom Patrol after Grant Morrison left. So they're doing a celebration of a lot of her characters. She also did a Brother Power the Geek book, so that's coming out as well. They're also doing My Adventures with Superman, which was a real hit cartoon on HBO Max. It's written by the head writer of the cartoon, and the series picks up from the end of season 1. They're also wrapping up the House of Brainiac. Action Comics 1066 is House of Brainiac Part 5. The Brainiac Queen, who we're going to see in a later summer event, is alive. Now that Brainiac has created his masterpiece, all bets are off, and Superman and his family are witness to the cosmic horror unlike anything they've ever seen. And then in Superman 15, House of Brainiac concludes. The fall of the House of Brainiac, Superman and Lex have figured out how to stop Brainiac and his queen, but it will take a great sacrifice. Can they do the unthinkable to save their family and friends? And then this leads directly into their summer event, Absolute Power. Tie-ins to House of Brainiac continue in Green Lantern 12 and Power Girl 10, and then Green Arrow 13 is also a countdown to Absolute Power. They also have a new #1, a new series coming called Zatanna, Bring Down the House. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. Please put your hands together for Zatanna Zatara, the greatest entertainer in the crappiest hotel and casino in Las Vegas. Not that the ritzier spots on the Strip haven't come calling, of course, but since a devastating instance of magic gone wrong that forever changed the course of her childhood, Zatanna would much rather live out her days as a top hat and fishnets wearing sleight of hand stage act than bother with real magic. These days, she doesn't think much of her past at all. That is until an interdimensional vortex cracks open during Zatanna's act, and a terrifying demon crawls out to kill her. We also have some facsimile editions coming from DC. We're getting Mad Magazine #1 and Crisis on Infinite Earths 3. Now on to a bunch of stuff coming from Image Comics. New from Image Comics. First one up is called Rifters. This is by comedian Brian Posehn and a bunch of other writers. Time Cop collides with Law and Order filtered through the lens of Mr. Show was their explanation. We also have a new one from Jerry Duggan, Falling in Love on the Path to Hell. The sun set on samurai and gunslingers at roughly the same time, but our two leads didn't die off quietly. In the East, Asami, a warrior and female samurai, would rather die with her weapons than surrender them to a sword hunt. In the West, the gunslinger McWraith follows his revenge to the bitter end and pays the ultimate price. The future lovers are mortally wounded, a world apart, and awake together in a purgatory ruled by a ruthless society of damned warriors. This one has it all. Action, the dead, the dying, the undead, and of course, romance. Now we have our next wave of G.I. Joe books. We have Destro #1. The next chapter of The Cobra Threat begins here. James McMullen Destro the 24th is the man behind Mars Industries, the undisputed leader in providing high-tech weapons to world powers for the right price. As Destro's ambitions grow, the Crimson Twins, Tomax and Zamat Paoli, emerge to destroy their competition, and Cobra Commander realizes his current ally could be his future greatest enemy. And we also have Scarlet #1. The next chapter of Codename G.I. Joe begins here. Shauna Scarlet O'Hara is about to take on the most dangerous black ops mission of her career, infiltrating the mysterious rising power in Japan known as Clan Arashikage. Her one lead is her former partner Jinx, turned Arashikage enforcer. Now Scarlet must use her very particular set of skills to survive undercover and discover a shocking weapon that could change the balance of power on Earth. Misery is a new Spawn book. This is by Todd McFarlane and Simon Kodransky. Cyan Fitzgerald is just a young woman trying to find her place in the world. As the daughter of Wanda Fitzgerald, the former wife of Al Simmons, a.k.a. Spawn, She has been endowed with incredible abilities, abilities that keep her cut off from those around her. Her journey to the darkness begins here. So Precious Metal. This is a sequel to Little Bird, which came out a few years ago. 35 years before the events of Little Bird, disillusioned mod tracker Max Weaver's routine hunt for a modified child takes a grisly and unexpected turn. Now saddled with an unpredictable mod who may be the key to unlocking his missing memories. Max will soon find that he isn't the only one interested in the child's unique abilities, and if he wants to know more, it's going to cost him everything. We also have Plastic, Death and Dolls. Plastic was a series that came out a little while about a serial killer chasing down the people who stole his blow-up doll. Everyone's favorite serial killer has returned. Learn how Edwin came to his first kill at 10 years old, and how that set him on a blood-soaked path of decapitations, sporks, and dolls on his way to finding his one true love of his life, a sex doll named Virginia. We also have Remote Space. The year is 2450. Earth is dying. The human species has gone down two different evolutionary paths. One used cybernetic augmentation to adapt to space travel. The humans left behind used genetic manipulation to adapt to Earth's worsening climate. For Earth to survive, civilizations need to collide. And we also have Self-Help, which is co-written by Owen King, son of Stephen King. Down on his luck, rideshare driver Jerry Hauser's existence is a bleak one, especially because every fare he picks up tells him how much he looks like uber-successful self-help guru Darren Hart. But after a twist of fate, Jerry is given the chance of a lifetime, which, if he's not careful, may well end his lifetime. So begins this California noir, a rollicking and gleefully lurid pulp crime story for our time. Now on to Dark Horse. From the world of minor threats, Barfly. This is a series that's been going on. Patton Oswalt has been in charge of it, about kind of minor characters in this world where heroes and villains are fighting. The Lower Layer Bar is home to all sorts of supervillains, lowlifes, and scumbags, but only one of them has to puke digestive fluids onto his food to eat. But what happens to a henchman when he no longer has anyone to hench for? We also have Nemesis Rogues Gallery #1. This is the next line from Mark Millar. Immediately following the events of Big Game, Nemesis lies broken and destroyed, but hell-bent on vengeance against every single person who wronged him. The bloody fire back begins here as he marshals together a plan for the ages. We also have a new one from Gerard Way, who did Umbrella Academy, and it's called Paranoid Gardens. ER meets Doctor Who on acid. Lou is a nurse at the most bizarre care center in the universe. The staff are not entirely human, and the cases are downright unearthly. Aliens, ghosts, superheroes, and more creatures plague its hallways as both doctors and patients and the hospital itself seem to be somewhat self-aware. Lou believes that despite a recent failure at her job, she's been given some sort of higher calling in this mysterious place and decides to rise to the challenge. We have Seance in the Asylum, 1865. Defrauded spiritual medium Alicia Wilkinson is brought to the Ashcroft Hospital at the behest of Dr. John James Templeton. He offers Alicia a second chance at reviving her once thriving career. Perform a seance amongst the patients in order to draw out their mental maladies. Alicia performs her first series of seances with the patients, including traumatized soldiers returning from the Civil War, women whose sanity has slipped through their fingers only to realize their sessions might work all too well. Now on to IDW. It's Godzilla month at IDW. Starting off, we have Godzilla Here There Be Giants, Son of Giants, sequel to the previous Here There Be Giants book, exploring the conspiracy that led to Sir Francis Drake to hide his treasure on Monster Island. Who are the Sons of Giants, and what is their mission? More importantly, what is their connection to Godzilla and the other monsters? This series shows how it all came to be, how Godzilla was discovered by the leaders of the world, and how it changed history forever. We also have Godzilla Skate or Die. Australia's skater punks versus Varan and the King of the Monsters. 4 years ago, four best friends and diehard skaters found the perfect location for a do-it-yourself skate park. After months of hard work, they created the world's sickest spot that they could enjoy for the rest of their lives. That is, until the ferocious Varan appeared in the middle of Central Australia and started making a beeline for their beloved park. And then we also have Star Trek Annual 2024. With no one but himself to blame for his brother's sudden escape during the Klingon Day of Blood, Lieutenant Commander Data sheds his Starfleet uniform for an ensemble inspired by none other than Sherlock Holmes to track down Lore's whereabouts and figure out what sinister plan he's been scheming. With the one and only Miles O'Brien as his Watson at his side, there's no mystery that Detective Data can't solve. Now on to Boom Studios. First up is Profane, a new one from Peter Milligan. Solving murders in Los Angeles is the daily bread of private detective Will Profane, but something is strange about the latest case. When every clue points to a famous detective novelist at the center of this mystery, Will's world will transform into something truly unreal. We also have Lawful #1. This is from Greg Pak. The magical meets the modern in a walled city with surreal, familiar architecture, where two small children with a sense of adventure get a grim reminder of reality, because every mistake one makes in this world will cause them to transform into a monster, bit by bit, and in the eyes of society, there's no distinction between the rules and what's right, Terry. We also have a Berserker story, Face Full of Bullets. When B finds himself in the middle of a greedy land baron and a runaway daughter, will he play the role of guardian angel or angel of death? Now we're getting to the rest. From Dynamite, we have a new Vampirella book, Vampirella Dark Reflections. Vampirella's daughter Lilith, now working for the Reality Corp, has received her first assignment. Investigate an anomaly in one of the many threads of the fabric where the Vampirella of that world has gone eerily silent. Coming from Titan, we have a new Doctor Who book, Doctor Who the 15th Doctor. The 15th Doctor and Ruby Sunday have followed a mysterious signal to a shopping mall in the last days of Earth. It's sure to be a trap, but to find the source, the Doctor must face his greatest fears. Archie has a new one-shot, The Wicked Trinity. Sabrina's magical nemesis, Amber Nightstone, and her sidekicks, Jade Kazane and Sapphire Gill, are intent on becoming the most powerful witches in the world. Isolated from so many around them, the three have formed a coven based on their individual needs for vengeance and true freedom. But when there is some dissent among the ranks, their small coven is threatened to be obliterated from within. Valiant is bringing us Ninjak versus Roku. The line between ally and foe blurs as these two extraordinary warriors clash in a battle that will redefine the very essence of danger. Ninjak's latest mission catapults him into a face-off with the lethal and enigmatic Roku. In a pulse-pounding race against time, Ninjak finds himself at odds with his formidable adversary. Distillery has a new one. This is from Jamie McKelvey, called One for Sorrow. London, 1900. The capital hums with the energy of the new era, but something darker lurks beneath the surface. A monstrous figure stalks the city's criminal underworld at night. Rumors about the mysterious killer spread like wildfire. It's a demon, a phantom, an angel of vengeance. Nothing can kill it, nothing can stop it. And once it picks a new target, well, you better have a coffin picked out because he's already dead. Mad Cave has a new one, Gatchaman. This is written by Cullen Bunn. The triumphant return of Gatchaman, the iconic Japanese animated franchise of a 5-member bird-themed superhero team known to Western audiences as Battle of the Planets. We also have Galaxy of Madness. In the far-flung, thrilling future of the 41st century, and on either side of the galaxy, a swashbuckling space archaeologist, Vigil Virgo, is on the cusp of learning a universe-shattering secret in this 4-color fantasy. But she'll have to dive into the abyss where no human was ever meant to go to do it. The question is what happens when she emerges from the other side. We have the Mammoth. Something is wrong in the deep forests of Broke Tree Valley. Something deadly, something mammoth. The legends speak of something larger than human comprehension, a monstrous phantom that disappears for decades at a time. Now it's back and things are about to go very bad if 4 people, Olivia, Jess, Kokoro, and Mason, scientists who have come to the small city of Casbro to investigate a bizarre series of seismic activities in this heavily forested valley, can't put the mammoth to rest. One real problem with this is Olivia is dead. Magma Comics, a new publisher, has a new book called Hell's Half Acre. Life is changing fast in 1904 Nashville, but the sins of the past live free in a place called Hell's Half Acre, where you can find gambling, sex, and most any other debauchery ever dreamed. None do it better than Miss Marion's, where a mysterious gambler named Britt sets in motion a chain of events that will have lawmen and outlaws alike aiming to put him 6 feet under. Oni Press has a new one called Cult of the Lambs, which is apparently a huge video game that people just adore. In a land pervaded by cruelty and evil, the most innocent among us, young lamb, the last of their kind, was selected to become a final dark sacrifice. Their death would forever seal the darkest of the old gods from our realm and usher in a new age ruled by the 4 eldritch bishops of the old faith. So Lamb died, then forged a deal of their own. So those are the new number ones coming. Of course, all your favorite books are still coming out. The stories are continuing, and lots of great stuff to read. So just to reiterate, we're going to be closed on Mondays for the foreseeable future. I'll let you know when that changes. We're focusing on Westerns for June. Book Club is going to be Department of Truth, and that is going to be on Friday, June 28th. Let's see, if you have any questions, the website's pittsburghcomics.com. Facebook is Pittsburgh Comics. Twitter and Instagram are PGH Comics. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for Comics Previews Theater. See ya.
Ich will. Mine.
Bring me the spear!
Ben, are you okay? What is it?
The dream, Eve. The same one I've had since I used the Winkler device.
I'm worried. It certainly did something to you.
It did something, but not to me.
We don't have time for distractions. We know Oscorp holds the living brain, the same machine that enslaved the Sinister Six. Revenge is our only concern.
I am telling you, we have greater worries. The sins of the Green Goblin have been freed. We're all in danger.
For what it's worth, I've never seen Craven this spooked.
It's not worth much. Whatever happened with Craven in that sphere is his business, not ours.
Agreed. The living brain concerns us all. Huh?
Tell me the number to our secret lair is unlisted.
I certainly thought so. Hello?
Hello, Otto.
Norman, we were just talking about you. I'm afraid we'll be visiting you soon. You won't enjoy it.
I'm aware of your plans, Otto. You telegraphed them clumsily as usual. I wish I had time to play, but you have something I need, so I've sent someone to deal with you quickly and unkindly. I think you'll get a kick out of who it is, and then you'll die.
I very much doubt that. I'll see you soon.
No, I don't think you will.
That voice. The Green Goblin?
No, something much worse.